Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to episode 134 of the Fab and Fearless Business Booster Shot Show. My name is Yinka. I am a business strategist, a speaker, a coach, and an incoming author, and I support women to create wealth in and through their businesses by helping them to focus on what matters most for the business, which is cash flow and strategy, and what matters most for the business owner, which is mindset and habits. It is my pleasure to welcome you to this 134th Booster Shot Show, where each week at 1:30 p.m. UK time on a Wednesday, I come to you with a short, sharp shot to boost both you and your business with one powerful truth and one actionable tip. And I hope that the tech is not teching. I hope that you can see and hear me over my LinkedIn, Facebook, and YouTube socials. If you can, please feel free, jump into the chat. Let me know that you are here and you can see and hear me. Thank you so much, beautiful, fabulous Jackie Raymond. It is so lovely to have you in the audience. As always, so grateful for your support and your commitment to the Booster Shot cause. Thank you for also letting me know that my LinkedIn and Facebook broadcasts are doing what they are supposed to do. We are talking today the truth about debt. And so just ahead of that, I am going to ask you my usual questions of number one, how are you doing? Scores on the doors, ladies. And gents, how are you doing today? Hey, Sharon, welcome back to the LinkedIn Vibe. It's so great to have you here. Hey, Charmaine, lovely to see you over on Facebook. Yay to the tech. Thank you, Jackie, for checking over on YouTube. We're talking debt, ladies. We are talking debt. So just before we start talking debt, if you have a friend in business or in life and you think that she needs to get to grips and understanding with the truth about debt, then feel free to tag said fabulous friend right here, right now. Tag her wherever you're hearing the sound of my voice and give her the opportunity. If she comes in now, she'll have the opportunity to watch me live, to get any questions answered. And then if not, then she can join team #replay. In the meantime, ladies and gents, how are you doing today? Scale of 1 to 10. I hope you're well and having a fab day. I am a strong, what am I today? Strong 8. I'm a good 8 today. How are you, Charmaine, Jackie, Sharon? How are you feeling today? Charmaine, you're a 6, sending love, vibes, and the absolute intention to make sure that that score is higher in just a few moments' time. Who needs to hear the truth about debt? Be sure to tag them in the comments just before we get started, because Yinka's bringing the real today. We're probably going to get a little spicy, I'm not going to lie, because I've got a little bee in my bonnet about this topic. I am really, really passionate about ensuring that women, all people in general, but women specifically, feel really empowered around all aspects of money. And yet debt is one of the spaces that I see least empowerment. I see least understanding. And I see what can only be described as stinking thinking when it comes to this area. And ironically, the stinking thinking around debt will affect all areas of money. Like, make no mistake. For some reason, we seem to have it in mind that debt is something over here and money is something over there. And, you know, that is the first thing that we are going to knock on their head, when debt is clearly money too. And so it is really important that we have this conversation and we share some insights on the truth about debt. So I'm glad, Jackie, you are at an 8.5 today. Sharon, you are a solid 8. I am excited to hear that, and I'm really looking forward to sharing today's insights with all of you. So, ladies and gents, we are talking debt. And the first question I would ask you, and I'd love for you to drop this in the chat for me, is what comes to mind? What words, what feelings, what emotions come to mind when you think about debt? What is it that comes up for you when you think about the concept or the idea of the debt? Drop it in the chat for me. Let me know. I'm really hoping that the tech stays effective today so I can actually see and interact with you all around the insights here, because it's a really interesting experiment that I'm going to be doing today, focusing on this particular topic. But debt brings up, thank you, Charmaine, for sharing that, shame and fear. Shame and fear, fear and overwhelm. So we can see that thus far, the words that have been associated with that: shame, fear, overwhelm, dislike, avoid, scary. Debt does not have a positive vibe for anybody. Whoever is responsible for debt PR needs to do some extra work. The word debt, we associate it with so many things. Jackie says lack of choice, incapacity. Love that, Jackie. Share, unpack a little bit more about what do you mean by lack of choice? What do you mean by incapacity? But we can see that debt comes with a really heavy, energetic focus. Ain't no one loving the idea of debt. And I say that and I laugh as I say it, because that what I just said to you is a lie. Is actually a lie. But I'll explain why in just a second. So yeah, people are not loving debt. Debt comes with the ideas of shame, blame, and when if I ask you the question, who gets into debt, for example, drop in the chat and let me know the kinds of people. What kind of people get into debt? Because we are talking debt today for those of you who are just joining us. And part of what I intend to do in the little time that we have together in this Booster Shot show is to just bring some awareness to some of the insights that we have around the idea of debt. So I asked our fabulous audience members what comes up when we think of the word debt. Charmaine gave us the words fear and shame. Sharon shared fear and overwhelm. Jackie shared lack of choice and incapacity. Jackie said not being responsible, unable to bless without fear, someone else having a hold over you. All sorts getting to debt. It could be anyone. Anyone can get into debt. Yes, you're absolutely right. Anyone can get into debt. And yet, when that person is in debt, if I said to you, so and so is in debt, what comes to mind about the kind of person that is in debt? So Jackie said not being responsible, not able to bless without fear. Oh, I see. So you lack choice when you have debt. So the first thing I want to say to you is I really want to thank you for even being willing to share these comments with me on this live stream today, because debt is so emotive. It is so emotive. Thank you, Charmaine. So powerful what you shared there. Charmaine dropped the word irresponsible. The person who is in debt is irresponsible. Thank you for sharing that, Charmaine, because whether we believe that to be true or not, that is what we're taught. That is what we're told in 101 different ways. 101 different ways. Now, before I share what I want to share with you today, I have one more question for you. I'll probably have more after, but I want you to tell me what debt is. I want you to tell me, what is debt? Because as well, you know, and you've heard me say this many, many times, that we do not treat things how they are. We treat them how we believe them to be. This is part of the reason why I spend so much time redefining money, redefining cash flow. Because if we do not understand what it is, we will not treat it how it is. We'll treat it how we believe it to be. So drop in the chat for me and let me know, what is debt? What is it? Like if I were to describe it to an alien that just came down from the heavens, never come to Earth before, don't know how you got here, don't know what you look like, don't know how you got lost. And I wanted to explain it to an alien who is not from this planet, what would I say that debt is? Jump in the chat for me and let me know how you would define what debt is. Because we've ascertained, and again, like ladies are doing the most. Thank you so much for sharing what you are in the chat. That anyone can get into debt. That we're taught often that the person that gets into debt is irresponsible. The person that, Charmaine has said, not having the financial resources to meet your outgoings. Jackie has said something owed to someone else. That's what debt is. It could be an investment, said Joan. Hey, Joan, lovely to see you. So what is debt? What is debt? Jackie has said it's something owed to someone else, but something what? So, for example, if I have a phone, because it's the first thing I'm looking at, like sitting here, so if I have my phone and I give my phone to someone, if I lend my phone to someone else, is that debt? What is debt? Sharon has said debt is owing money to someone else. Thank you for that definition, Sharon. So, what we know for sure, and I completely agree with you, and while you can lend and owe and all of that, let's stick to the money version of it. So the first thing I want to say to you ladies is debt is money. Debt is money. Now, I asked you earlier what comes to mind when you think about debt. And you gave me some adjectives. You gave me some words: fear, overwhelm, shame, irresponsible, not able to meet your commitments. Like any type of person can get into debt, but if you're in debt, it's a problem. And yet, we can all agree that debt is money. Debt is money. What kind of money specifically? Is the kind of money that has been given to you by someone else. Like, I don't know if the penny has just dropped for you here, but the first time that I began my own journey of really redefining and reconsidering what debt is and how it works, it blew my mind. Because if I ask you to tell me what comes to mind when you think of money, those of you who are working in my spaces will potentially have a very different idea about money now than you would have before we started working together. But when we think about money, the question I would have for you, or the question I ask you, is the words that you associate with debt, do you want to associate them with money? I'm just letting it land. Like, the tech is not teching. I just want it to land with you for a moment. And the best way that I can help you do that is just to give you a moment of silence. Because the fact is, ladies and gents, debt is money that's been given to you by someone else. That is all it is. So all of the positivity and the power and the availability and the awesomeness that is available to you through money is available to you through debt. Like, I don't know if, like, energetically I can feel it. I can feel that you're like, what? No, debt is debt, money is money. No, debt is money. Debt is money that someone else has given you. And the reason why I really wanted to have this conversation today is because of a couple of the words that, again, ladies, I want to thank you so, so much. There is so much shame around money, around debt, around being in debt. And what I want to offer you is a real recognition and awareness that that shame and that overwhelm and all those negative feelings around debt, they are learned stories. When I really began to think about debt as money, just money that someone else has given me, yes, I have to pay it back, but yes, I get to use it now. Money that you get to use now that you get to pay later. And the word that came to mind most powerfully for me when I began to do more research into debt and look at debt as the number one. Debt is the number one wealth creation tool. It is the number one tool that is used to create wealth in this world. The wealthiest people on the planet, every last one of them without exception, has used debt to create wealth. So just in the same way that cash is a building block for wealth, debt is a building block for wealth. Let me know, like, if you're shooketh right now. Let me know if this is like reverberating in your brain. Let me know. Let me know how you are feeling. Debt is somebody giving you grace. Debt is someone passing on a gift of usage now and repayment later. Now, do not hear what I am not saying, because not everything should be used now and paid later. Some things shouldn't be used at all. Some things definitely should be paid for when they are used. And yet debt is grace. Debt is someone giving you a gift. Debt is someone increasing your financial capacity. Like, it's wild to me how much we have been told to avoid debt, how bad someone is if they're in debt, how irresponsible they are to be in debt, how people are looking to be debt free. And I just want to remind you, ladies, that if debt is money, and don't get me wrong, it's advanced money because you managed to convince someone to give it to you. So yeah, it takes a bit of skill. And it takes a bit of knowledge and it takes a bit of understanding how to use it to your advantage. But make no mistake, it is an incredibly powerful tool to create success when it is used effectively. And just in the same way that we would never look at the knives in our kitchen and say, let us ban knives from the house because we handed it to someone who wasn't capable of using it effectively and they hurt themselves, so let's get rid of it altogether. The people who know how to use the knives and make incredible food. And so just in the same way that it is a tool that requires skill and knowledge, but it's still a tool. It's a tool that absolutely can, and in my opinion, should be used. Why would I block my blessing? Why? If somebody, credit card company, other person, whoever, if they have given me the opportunity to expand my financial capacity, why would I not take the grace and use the money? It's just money. We've got it in mind that debt is this lurking, like, evil thing coming to strangle you at night in your sleep. Absolutely not. When we look at the wealthiest, the most indebted group on the planet are the wealthiest group on the planet. Without fail. Because they leverage their debt to create wealth. And just because not everybody leverages debt to create wealth, that doesn't mean that you shouldn't and you cannot. And just in the same way that you get to decide for yourself that money is knowable and masterable and usable, so is debt. And trust me, for all the work that I do to create and help women to really, supercharge their cash flow and understand how to make money. You know what is incredibly powerful? When someone else gives you money. Because money is money. Money is money. And so if someone else gives it to you, yes, there are terms. Yes, you have to repay it, but you don't have to repay it now. And so, ladies and gents, this is not a clarion call for you to go and get into debt. Not at all. This is a clarion call to shift your thinking. You may already be in debt. And if you are, I've got a one actionable tip for you in a second. But I want, instead of seeing it as a burden and as a problem, I want you to see it as a blessing that someone gave you, an opportunity someone gave you. What you did with the blessing, what you did with the opportunity is a separate conversation, but I want you to see it for what it is, because then you get to release it. The problem was never the debt. It was what you did with the money. It was what you did with the money. I love that, Joan. Debt is like the baddie in the superhero movie. Yep, like Thanos destroying worlds. And yet it doesn't have to be. The minute you shift your thinking to understand that it is an increasing of financial capacity, it is one of the most powerful capacity building, wealth generating tools, it feels altogether different. It feels altogether different. You will be grateful for every person who was smart enough to give you that debt. And you will feel even more committed to repaying the ones that are not generating a return on that investment for you. And again, it's just the case whether the cash is generating a return on investment or not. That is the only there's the I've heard, and I believe someone wrote it above, good debt, bad debt. That's like good money, bad money. What's bad money? What's good money? So if I have one powerful truth, I have said this so many times. It could be the powerful truth for every single week, but I like to intersperse a few others. It's just a reminder that nothing has meaning except the meaning you give it. And women and Black people, and especially Black women, but brown women, people from across have been socialized into villainizing, being scared of, and being subject to debt. And I just want you to know that all of that is lies. And the reason I know that all of that is lies is because when I look at the other end of the spectrum, when it comes to wealth, when it comes to money, and I look at the people who have the largest net worths on the planet, not one of them is debt free. Not one. Go check it. List a name. There isn't a single billionaire that doesn't have debt. And so that tells you. What does that tell you? That tells you that debt is a tool that needs to be understood, that needs to be well managed, but more importantly, needs to be energetically contained. Because if you tell yourself stories about debt, about it dragging you down, it makes me so upset to think about this, but I really wanted to share it with you because the statistics around adults worrying about money The statistics of the level of misery and anxiety and suicide that is prevalent on account of debt. Honestly, it actually breaks my heart because it's just money. Like, I cannot overstate this enough. I cannot state it with enough vim for you. Debt is money. It is a tool that needs to be understood. It is a tool that can change your life. But it, in and of itself, it isn't good or bad. It is neutral, like the rest of money. And so it's never about the debt. It's actually about you. What are you spending your money on and why? How are you managing your affairs and why? They are the bigger questions, not the source of the cash. Not the source of the cash. Cash is money in your bank account. Debt is money in your bank account that came from somewhere else. But that came from someone else and they want it back. Can you see how much lighter it feels when you really get to it's just money. It's just money. And the reason why I raise it is because I see women doing themselves such a disservice repeatedly. Oh, I really want to do this thing, but I can't afford it. Fine. What does that mean? I don't have the money available right now. Cool. Oh, but I don't want to get into debt. Why? The only reason not to get into debt is if you're not sure of the return. And the thing is, whatever you're trying to invest in, that's for you to decide. If you're not sure of the return, don't invest. Don't invest. But money is there to create a return for you. But women who are sure of the return, but afraid and completely thinking about the debt differently, they are missing out on opportunities over and over and over again. And I've been asked this question a number of times, and I'm going to answer it like really clearly. People are like, well, if I'm already in debt, should I get in more debt to clear the debt? And I'm like, if you want. I would never shame someone if they're in debt to get into more debt to clear the debt, as long as what they're using to clear the debt is going to clear the debt. Even the idea of clearing the debt. Some debts, the reason why they're classed as bad money is because they were spent on things that don't give any return. But they're not actually bad. It's neutral. It does what it does. It's only bad if it only feels bad. It is not in and of itself bad. So yeah, if you're given an opportunity and the only way that you can access it is through debt, be running. Be running towards, grab that debt, thank the person who gave you that grace, invest in the opportunity and make your life better. Make the things that you want to create for yourself happen. Don't allow, as I said, stinking thinking to keep you stuck, because debt is just money that came from someone else. And this debt avoidance keeps people stuck over and over again. I don't want to use a payment plan. I don't want it over my head. This is not right thinking. If you can afford it, pay for it. If you can't afford to pay for it in full, then it isn't over your head. You know what's over your head? Being where you are right now, staying stuck where you are in this moment that you're trying to get out of. That's what's over your head. And so my one actionable tip for you today, you can tell I'm excited. We've literally hit the 30-minute mark, so I'm going to tell you really quickly. If you are in debt, go grab one of your statements of debt, whether it is a mortgage statement, a credit card statement. And I want you to pick it up, and I want you to go and be thankful. I want you to look at that number. I want you to be thankful for every single one of those dollars, pounds, euros, whatever your currency is. that was given to you. I want you to make peace with the fact that someone gave you money. And I want you to now make a decision. Because if you don't want to be in that specific debt anymore, great. Then there needs to be a plan to get rid of it. But the debt itself is not a problem. It's just money. And what we get to do is help you and support you to figure out how to repay the person that gave you that grace. But they did give you grace, and that is worthy of celebration. Joan, thank you for what you shared here. You said staying stuck is over your head, money. Even debt could set one free if you let it. Exactly that. Debt has set so many people free because it's just money. But you have to let it. And in order to let it, you have to release that stinking thinking around debt, because debt is money. Stinking thinking around money will not set you free, and stinking thinking around debt will not set you free either. So awesome, ladies. I didn't even get through past the first point of what I wanted to share with you today, but I hope this has been truly useful for you. Enough with the debt shaming. Enough with the stories of lack and what's it called, of being irresponsible. It's a lie. The most responsible people in the world are seeking out other people's money to do the things they need to do. And so make no mistake, it is an incredible tool for you to change your life if you will let it. So if you want to find out more about the work that I do that really does deal and dig into these mindsets, that helps you learn how to create cash at will and as you wish, for whatever reason, including paying off debt if that's your desire, then feel free. Slide into my DMs. The word you are looking for is debt, because debt is just money. And I love money and money loves me. So with that, ladies and gents, I wish you an incredible rest of your day. I look forward to seeing you in the spaces. Please drop your biggest takeaway in the comment and tag a friend who really needs to hear the truth about debt. Take care, have a good one, and I will speak to you soon. Bye-bye.